Hello and welcome to the Hypnosis Side Hustle Show. My name is Rick Paddock. I'm your host, and yes, this is a show all about creating a hypnosis business as a side hustle, creating a part-time hypnosis business so you can create impact in your world, your community, and impact and income in your life. And I'm super excited today to have my special guest, my great friend Juan Acosta. Juan, thanks so much for being here today.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, Rick. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and I'm excited to dig in. So Juan
Nice.
comes to us. Yeah, it's fantastic from Lake Tahoe, right?
Yes.
How are things in Lake Tahoe?
Amazing. We're almost getting to winter here.
Yeah, it's getting to be that time. Have you had snow?
Pretty cold in the morning. Yeah, we had a little bit of snow a few weeks ago, just snow-capped mountains, but now it's all gone. It's been melted again. We're waiting for the real coating, which should come in the next couple of weeks.
The powder coating for
Yeah, I
those
can't wait.
skiers out there. And I'm not a skier, but interestingly, it's one of the areas and niches, if you will, that Juan has gotten into, right? That you
hmm
coach, work with on the mental aspect, skiers, instructors, new and seasoned, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do all sorts of athletes, but I do live here because I love it, skiing and snowboarding, and I mostly spend my winters teaching. So people who are fearful, for example, of getting on the slopes or getting past a green slope into a blue slope, and they're, oh no, I'll never do that. Like my kids can go do that by themselves. They come to me to help them break that fear, and I take them out on the mountain and I show them. And it's one of the main reasons that I live here is because I love it so much. So
That's so
I've
cool.
yeah, I've built a clientele in that side hustle of hypnosis, in that niche,
Yeah.
as well as other niches.
Yeah, and we've talked about a lot on the Hypnosis Side Hustle show here about the power of niches as you're just getting into the business. If you feel drawn to a certain niche, go towards it because there's great power in shining that light, in that niche, and not only in that kind of skiing, snowboarding niche. You also have the dental niche, right?
hmm
Uh, t-
Absolutely.
tell our listeners a little bit about that, how you came to that.
Yeah, well, back in 2012, when I was finishing my studies at HPTI, I wanted to follow in the steps of Scott Sandland, being a mentor of mine, and he had done so much work with dental. It seemed like a really natural step. And so I moved to Southern California. I started knocking on dentist doors, literally wearing my shoes down all the way, getting the door slammed in my face for months, and going, man, something's wrong here. Until I finally landed an opportunity in dental. Just really, it was by luck, pretty much. But I did. And when I did, I realized why I was getting the door slammed in my face so much from being able to work inside of the dental practice. So I not only got to work with dentists, I got to work inside the dental practice as a practice manager and then a VIP coordinator and a trainer and marketing person. So I saw all the different aspects of a dental practice that most hypnotists don't get to see, will never get to see. Um, so from that point, I realized, I'm like, man, if all hypnotists that are looking to work with dentists are getting the door slammed in their face just like I am, I need to bring this information out. Like I need to share with hypnotists why that is, like what's happening with the way that you're doing things. You're approaching them wrong, obviously, if the door is not, getting
Right.
slammed in your face. So that's when I started sort of honing in more into the niche and teaching other hypnotists and at dental conferences as well.
Yeah, and you wrote the book, right? The book on this.
I wrote the book on dental hypnosis. The first one that came out called Hypnodontics, Ethical Language, Ethical Influence Language for Dental Professionals. And it's all about basically my findings through that first year of working inside dental practices and noticing that there was a need not only for relaxing patients and helping patients stop grinding and stop smoking, which are also all great. But there was more of a need for helping dental professionals and their patients communicate in a better way so that the patients will have a better understanding of what's being asked of them, of what their needs are, right? And the dental professional cannot be seen like it's selling a used car.
Yeah.
The dentistry gets such a bad rep that when I joined dentistry per se, and I realized that oh, there's all these disconnections between the fields that we're trying to, approach it in the wrong way. I just saw it as my mission to share that information with dental professionals and say, hey, if you guys just fix this and this and this in your communication, everything could be much better. So I've been on that mission since.
And you saw firsthand that when you were able to, um, I guess, kind of retrain within your staff, right? The power of language and how they
Mhm.
spoke, and that things changed pretty quickly, right?
Oh, rapidly. I mean, well, the first experience that I really had that was super powerful was me noticing I was in charge of booking every appointment for the dental practice, and then booking the dentist, and then meeting in the middle and saying, okay, here's patient A, Dr. A, taking each through the process. So my job was sort of that management, that logistics aspect. And I realized quickly that booking appointments for a dental practice was so hard. To actually book appointments for a cash dental practice for somebody who's in pain and they just, they need to do something now, and to actually get them to show up, for example, to get an extraction when they know they're going to get an extraction. Like, it was a hard thing to do, like
Wow.
convincing people to do what's in their best interest. So, so the experience that I had gave me the ability to change that, to understand that, okay, if I use a different process for making patients commit, they will actually show up to the appointment, and our no-show rate dropped from, I mean, if we used to have like 10 patients booking an appointment a day and 6 not showing up because of the type of business it was, that's a lot of money that's
Yeah.
like flying out the door. And that quickly changed to like 1 no-show a day.
Wow.
So the income of the practice itself grew by 35 or 40% just within the, when I finally realized, I spent a couple of weeks going, what the heck, how do I make this work? I'm
Yeah.
the manager, I got to make this work, like people are not showing up. And then all of a sudden it clicked, and it's like you can see it. I have a picture, an old picture of the numbers that I took, when I was like, holy crap, look at this, like I have a report, and it shows like a huge increase between month 1 that I started and month 2, and then recurring. So
That's awesome. And it was all just about the power of language, and right, and expectation, and how you processed it, or
yeah, it
yeah.
was most importantly about understanding, about standing in the patient's shoes in the moment that they were calling, and then delivering a little bit of commitment. So I'll give you a little more of an example. They would say, yeah, I will be there. And I would say, okay, well, no, actually it would be before. I would ask
Yeah.
them, hey, will you be here? A very direct question. And I wouldn't just say, will you be here because of this and that, and dilute it. I would just say, will you be here, and stop. And I would not say anything until they would verbally commit. The power of commitment.
Yeah.
So they would say yes. And then I would grab that commitment and build it by saying, okay, Mr. Patient, I appreciate that. If there's any reason why you might not make it, because listen, I have a doctor coming from over here, I'm coming from over here, I would build a little bit of that guilt,
Yeah.
essentially, to not by not showing up. And I would say, if for any reason you can't show up, would you be willing, would you be give me the courtesy
Yeah.
of just giving me a call and letting me know? Because if I know before I leave the house that I don't have to leave the house, cool, okay, no problem. That all that money hasn't been lost. Some money's been lost, but not all of it. Or maybe we can rearrange the schedule. But and what that did is it did 2 things. It helped create that initial commitment, and then it didn't make them feel guilty if they couldn't show up, as long as they said that they could. So it gives them an out.
Yeah.
And most dental professionals are like, well, I don't want to give them an out. I want them to commit, and I want them to be here, and I want to say there's a 50% cancellation fee, and there's this and that.
Right.
And I'm like, no. You don't understand. If you do all those things and the person gets to the moment where like, oh my gosh, I have that appointment and I made this and I can't show up, but there's all these negative things about not showing up, I'm just not going to act like it's not there.
Yeah.
That's really what happens. They just kind
Wow.
of not show up. Whereas if you say, listen, I know that things happen. If you can't show up for some reason, that's all cool, but please let me know as soon as you know. People feel the guilt of not calling, and they also feel free to, if, oh, they said call them if they can't show up, so it's okay. and it just releases the pressure, and it allows the no calls and cancellations to change completely. Because if you're in a dental practice, you have what's called a short list. If somebody calls and cancels, you have this list of 20 people who have been trying to schedule, but you haven't been able to find the right time. And you can start calling, boom, 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 boom. And person number 5 is going to show up, and then nobody's losing money, and you've been able to mitigate all the damage. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. Great story. Thank you. So it was kind of through training that you recognized this niche. You know, your mentor, Scott Sandlin, you know, had this similar niche. You're like, I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. And then, you know, as the universe, as fate would have it, you landed there, and then you developed another niche, you know, from that personal passion, skiing and snowboarding. For people that are hypnotists already and are looking to build a part-time practice or are thinking about getting into it, like where I was early on, I didn't know what I wanted my niche to be. I wanted a quote unquote niche because I knew the power of it. From that place, any recommendations that you have for just kind of taking your awareness that you want to help people and now these skills and marketing? And so you knocked on doors, and dentists was very specific, but any tips, suggestions that you have that are more general? Because I know you have a practice where you help, you know, not just snowboarders and skiers and dentists, but anybody. Any thoughts on that on the marketing side?
Definitely. I have a few different practices in different niches. I've built it that way on purpose. You know, people are like, well, you got to focus. If you don't have this one business that's doing this, I'm like, I don't care to do it. That's boring to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the same thing every day. I want to use, oh, that's so bright. The sun's just shining. I want to use the skills I have, which are basically, as I see them, just skills in improved communications, in efficient and direct communication, to basically do anything that I want in my life. Yeah. So I have, through the last 13 years that I've been in hypnosis, I have used the skills for a lot of different things. You know, it started as a sales thing. I was doing real estate, much like you, back in 2006, 2007. And I'm like, I got to sell more. I got to do better, you know, and I that's how I got into NLP. Mm-hmm. So I've used the skills for sales in that arena. Then later on, I'm like, you know what? I used to really like being on stage when I was in school. I did a lot of theater. Let's do some stage shows. And I learned some hypnosis, and I took some of the stage courses, and I did stage courses for stage performances at bars and nightclubs and such for a couple of years.
Cool.
And at the end of those, people would come up and say, hey, well, can you help me quit smoking? Can you help me lose weight? And I'm like, yeah, why not? The skills are the same. I just have to kind of point them in that direction. So I started a practice helping people then. And then when I decided, you know, I need to go back to school, because helping people is great, but it would be great if I had a toolbox this big rather than a toolbox this big, which I feel I have right now. This was, you know, it was like a decade ago now. Yeah. And I started looking for more training until I finally started at HPTI, and all this dental work and this whole new world of like professional hypnotherapy opened up to me, you know, because before HPTI, I was just a dabbler.
Yes.
After HPTI, after 2012, I feel like I was a professional hypnotist, and I could do the skills for anything. Very cool. And it opened up a whole world. So for marketing specifically, which you asked, I started, in order to see private clients, what I started to do was public speaking. I created a little benefit-laden course, you know, a 60-minute and a 90-minute talk that I went around and I talked to libraries. Nice. I said, hey, I have this presentation. Do you have a conference room? Oh yeah, we could put you in the schedule. So this is what I would encourage anybody to do in whatever niche and whatever thing you want to use your hypnosis skills for, your NLP skills for. Just understand that they're open. Be flexible. Put something together that you can deliver at a library, that it's a 30, 60, 90-minute talk, whatever you want to sell, whatever you're comfortable doing, and then go deliver that, because they will help you market. You can market that, and then that's an asset. You can create a little video from that talk, and you can purpose it in so many ways. This is a lot of what I've done is I'll create, for example, a video of that 60-minute talk, and then not only have I given it live and made an offer to the maybe 12 or 15 or 50 people, who knows, that have shown up to see it live. But I've also now have a recording that I can create, maybe a little page where, hey, if you missed the live talk, or if you're in a different location, but you're still interested in the subject, check this out, right? And you send them to a little page that has that video. And in that video, of course, they can receive the same offer that you made the people free hook is to get them in to talk to you. So that would be one big tip, is to use public speaking as a means of reaching out and figuring out who's interested, because that's the best thing about marketing. You don't want to be the karate school that has to go knock on every door like, hey, I open a karate school. Hey, I open a karate school. No,
Yeah.
you want to be able to talk, to make one message that says, hey, karate school is open, and then let whoever's interested come in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think of it as attraction marketing.
Okay. I love it. And this has come up on the show here before, how that kind of falls under you need to get out and talk to people. That TTP, you need
Definitely.
to talk to people.
Networking.
Yep, networking, whether it's in a networking group, whether it's putting on a talk, whether it is knocking on the dentists and doctors or karate school doors, whatever it is, you need to find a way where you're comfortable talking about it. And the more people you can talk to, and that's the advantage of giving a talk at a library, at a Rotary Club or something, is you're spreading out that talk. It's not one-on-one, you're multiplying your time. And then, like Juan said, take it to the next level, have that recorded, just get your phone on a little tripod, record it, and find a way to put that on Facebook. Find some kid to help you send out an email, if you're not used to doing that. But the key is broadcasting, talking to people, and then there is that attraction, right?
Yeah, definitely. Using the knowledge you have to share it. If I really think through the several last years of my life as a hypnotist, I've built all of it by public speaking.
Wow.
I've spoken at all the hypnosis conferences, I've spoken at dental conferences, and I've spoken at libraries and free events that I've done at my town just to get clients.
Yeah.
Because if you do one free talk a month, and out of that talk you get 2 or 3 clients that actually multiply into a few sessions, then you have a business. You have enough of a running business to be able to think, to not have to I have to be marketing all this.
Yeah.
No, you can sit back a little bit and decide, make better decisions when you're in that place.
Yeah.
As far as the marketing for the event itself, or for anything, even if you're marketing for clients, one thing that I recommend is to create a piece of content that is geared towards the subject that you're most interested in. Yeah. So for example, you talked about me and skiing. I would create a report, and this is not something I've done because I have plenty of clients.
Yeah.
Is not something that I need to be spending my time doing. But if you're looking for clients, for example, I'm going to use skiing as a niche. I would create a report of the 5 most important things that you must know before your first day on the slopes.
Nice.
Whatever. That's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And it would have read this quick report if you've never been on the slopes and you want to do so safely. Something like that. Of course, yeah.
Perfect.
If I haven't been on the slopes, of course I want to do it safely. Whatever hook makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the thing would be just a simple report. Okay, number 1, you want to make sure that your equipment is this. Yeah. Number 2, you want to make sure that you have that you understand the rules of the slopes, that you're not going to run into anybody. Number 3, you want to make sure that it makes sense. We'll give 5 points.
Come up with 5 of them.
Exactly. And towards the end of the report, you say, and by the way, if you've enjoyed this teaching and you would like some help implementing some of these ideas, or if you would like me to come with you and actually show you how to do this, sign up here. And you're using the attraction of somebody who's like, oh, I wonder how you learn to ski. What are the top 5 tips to learn skiing, or whatever? They get your report that leads them to your product. So attraction marketing is what it's all about.
I love it. Attraction marketing. And, I've heard it, and in my mind, it's kind of the give to get. You give information, you give valuable content, and somehow, some way you'll get, whether it's that person, they may not ever want to come, but now you're in their mind, you've shown yourself in a positive light. And somebody now
Mm-hmm.
at the dinner party the next week is talking about, I really need to quit smoking, lose weight, stop biting my nails. And it's like, hey, you know what? I saw this guy, gave me this free report. You should go see him. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the attraction.
Yeah, it's an exchange of value. If you think about it, it builds reciprocity. If
Yep.
you have read a report by somebody that you found valuable, and there's the next person who you haven't heard a report by, and they're, equally skilled, you probably go with the person who has built rapport with you by giving you some value, and you have gone, yeah, I kind of like the way that this person communicates. Why would you not? It's just the natural way of progressing.
The law of reciprocity.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, we've covered a lot. Thank you. We talked about niches. We've talked about speaking, free reports, all kinds of great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Juan Acosta, if people want to get hold of you, what's the best way?
The best way to find out more about me right now is through my book website. I am celebrating 5 years in the bestseller list on Amazon. So I
Awesome.
decided to buy a bunch of books and give them away for free. And they can get one at hypnodonticsbook.com. That's hypnodontics, like endodontics or periodontics, but with hypno in front of it, the book.com. And that'd be
Hypnodonticsbook.com.
hypnodonticsbook.com. That'd be an easy way to find out about me, get some value for free. To, of course, the book you can buy on Amazon, or you can get it for me for free if you just pay for shipping. And that'd be a great way to start our relationship if you're interested in learning more.
I love it. Thanks so much. Juan, thanks again for all you do, and thanks for joining me today.
Rick, thank you, man. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your invitation.
You bet.